Have you ever wondered what happens to your body after you quit drinking alcohol? Those first 30 days can feel like a roller coaster, right? Physically, mentally, and emotionally. It is draining. And I'm not sugarcoating this for you. I do not sugarcoat things in this podcast. But here's the good news for you: your body starts healing almost immediately. In this episode, I'm going to walk you through the biggest changes you can expect in your first month alcohol free. Hey, friend, welcome to Sober Vibes. I'm your host, Courtney Anderson. I'm a sober coach, author, and your go to guide with living life without alcohol. I've been alcohol free since 2012, and by far it's the best decision I've ever made in my life. Now I get to help other women live life without alcohol and thrive in sobriety. Here you're going to find quick sober tips, real talk, and encouragement to build confidence, handle cravings, and really actually enjoy your alcohol-free life. If you're sober curious, ready to go all in, hit subscribe and let's vibe sober together. Hey, welcome back to the Sober Vibes podcast. I am your host, Courtney Anderson. And again, welcome back to season 7. We are in the 3rd episode of this new season. If you haven't yet, please go over to YouTube and subscribe, comment below if you're already on YouTube and watching this. Thank you. I appreciate the support. And for the good people of the world who've been listening to me since day one, thank you so much for your continued support and tuning in to this kick-ass podcast. For the new folks tuning in today, I am a sober coach, I am an author, and I help you live a kick-ass life without alcohol. So the first 30 days, it can feel so overwhelming. Okay, this is why I've written a book. In those 90 days, if you have not yet gotten my book, please get it. It will help you all what to expect, okay? So you're maybe going to be wondering what's normal, what's not, and if your feeling is just you or part of the process. In this process, too, of sobriety, we get very much in our head and think that we are effing crazy, all right? I remember those early days very vividly. It's something that I have never allowed myself to forget, as it has pushed me to go forward in these last 13 years. And I want to give you a clear picture of what's happening in your body so you feel less anxious and more empowered. And that is the approach that I come from. Because when I went through this, it's like, God, I wish I had more resources and education on what to expect. And I think that is everybody's whole thing of like, I don't know how this is gonna, I don't know what's to come. I think for anybody in anything, that's the scariest part. So before we get started, just to let you know, if you want support getting through those first 30 days and beyond, that's exactly what I do with my clients and my coaching sessions. Together, we map out tools, accountability, and support that is tailored to you. So if you want to check that out, check the link in the show notes below. And you can also check out my group coaching community called the Sobriety Circle. So let's get into it. All right, you ready for number 1? Better sleep. I know some of you are probably thinking, what the actual hell, Courtney? Like, what? I can't sleep after a couple days. You do have to give yourself a couple days, all right? Especially too in that first week. There is an adjustment phase in this, all right? So the first few nights, maybe the first couple weeks, right? It can be rough, but your body's adjusting without alcohol sedating you, all right? But soon your natural sleep cycle begins to reset. In that natural sleep cycle too, it is very important as well. In this process, you try to go to bed at the same time every night and also to wake up at the same time every morning. An hour before bed, turn off the screens, turn off the telly, and make sure also too that you are sleeping in a dark room. And it's better if you can sleep in a cooler room. I sleep with a fan on me, and it's great because it actually is better for your body and better sleep to be in a very dark, cool room. Those are just things that I have learned along the way, and I'm trying to help you adjust to this. For me, when I got sober, it took me a little bit because I came straight from I was working nights and then for many, 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 many years. Okay. So I was a night owl person. And then when I transitioned into the medical field into a 7 to 3, it took me a little bit of time to adjust to that new schedule. Because you've got to remember, the last night I drank was my last bar shift, right? And I was, again, at that time, still on nights. When I went back, I adjusted myself to being on the day shifts. So for me, it took a little bit of time. But if you are already in that 9 to 5, just keep structure when it comes to your sleep. So by the end of 30 days too, many people start experience deeper, more restorative sleep. Waking up rested is one of the first signs, and your body thanking you. And sleep is the best thing you can do for yourself. Many of times, if you are listening and you worked with me one-on-one, you will know that I just tell you, just take a nap. If you can. I'm not saying to nap for 5 hours a day. I just like nap, especially in those first couple weeks. Go to bed, especially in those first couple weeks, because it's setting yourself up actually for a lot of success, getting through another day and giving your body the rest it needs after years of putting alcohol into your system, okay? Number 2, hydration and energy levels improve. Alcohol dehydrates you. Funny thing is let's take alcohol aside. It is known that 70% of Americans are dehydrated, okay? And if you have had a raging drinking problem, whatever end of the spectrum you are on, we've all had raging drinking problems. And if you're listening to this, you might have a raging drinking problem, okay? And now you put alcohol into your system. It's why hangovers feel so brutal, right? Within a week or two of not drinking, your hydration levels actually normalize. You may notice clear skin, fewer headaches, starting to get a little bit of more energy throughout the day. Instead of maybe those 3 p.m. crashes, you start to feel steady. Another product I want to plug this, and I am affiliated with them, and I have used them for the last couple of years. If you are not using an electrolyte, please use Relight. I love it every day. I use it, and it actually has helped me with migraines after I gave birth for that first year and a half, maybe close to 2 years. I think it was a year and a half, and I started using it, but I used to get leg spasms at night, right? And that helped me so much. So use it. There's a code in the show notes below, and I believe it gets you 10 to 15% off. But it's something that I do not live without, and I highly recommend you using it as well. Or if that's something that you cannot afford, put a little bit, and I say this too, I talk about this in my book, put a little bit of salt in your water and drink that the first thing in the morning time, okay? Because it really does help hydrate you. And you need all the hydration that you can get right now when you are quitting drinking alcohol, okay? Number 3, reduce anxiety and mood swings. Now remember, this is just start of the changes that is going to happen in your body, because this is another one you might be like, what is she talking about? Alcohol messes with your neurotransmitters in your brain, right? It spikes anxiety the next day, causes depression, right? Because it's a downer. Without it, your nervous system begins to stabilize. Yes, that first week or two, you will have increased anxiety. You will do that because that is part of the withdrawal. That is that after, that acute hangover, and then there's post-acute withdrawal syndrome, which post-acute withdrawal syndrome is kind of the longer detox you will go through when it comes to quitting drinking. And for some people can last up to 2 years. Not everybody, but some people, okay? But once you start taking alcohol out of the equation, again, your nervous system is going to begin to stabilize, not with any extra added tools to keep stabilizing it, but you are just not on that detox to retox. I always, Silver Sis always says that, where you're adding more in and then the next day you're detoxing it out, right? Then you're adding alcohol back in. So at first, emotions are going to feel raw AF. because you're not numbing them anymore. And that can induce anxiety. But over the month, your baseline anxiety often decreases, right? Many clients I work with, and even from myself, my perspective, I didn't realize how much alcohol was fueling my stress until I stopped. And even too, of even making, when it comes to the stress, like even making things a bigger fucking deal than they needed to be, right? Where it was like, it was that continuous drama, chaos that I was creating and stressing myself out. So just know you have to give yourself some time. Even too, if you are on anxiety medicine or antidepressants, that medicine has not been working for you properly when you've been drinking on top of it. So you also need to give that a fair chance for your body to start leveling out and having that medicine actually start doing the work, and you be able to tell, like, okay, this medication is working for me or it's not. Women I have coached as well have told me they didn't realize that that medication that they were on actually was not helping them, that they found a new medication that worked, but it was only because they got sober that they were able to tell if it was working for them. Number 4, digestive and immune system reset. Thank goodness. Your gut health, which I did a great episode on gut health, which I will link in the show notes below so you can listen to it. Your gut health and your immune system take a beating from alcohol. Within 30 days, you might feel less bloating, better digestion, and even fewer colds, right? Your liver also begins to repair itself, filtering toxins more effectively. It's your body's way of saying, thank you for giving me a break. Now, again, alcohol really, really, really does compromise the immune system. Same thing with your gut health. For years, you could have considered me an IBS girly. And then I quit drinking and my stomach issues decreased tremendously. And then I added a probiotic onto that, and I was a changed woman when it came to my stomach issues. So it really is taking something very poisonous out of your system and focusing and repairing it, because again, there's a lot of repair you do have to do when you get sober. I don't give a shit if you've been crushing green juices and you have been making your 5 o'clock yoga class on a weekly, daily basis for the last 10 years. You have still continuously put alcohol into your system for enter in the number of days for how many years, okay? So it completely washes out the work that you have done when it comes to doing detoxes and working out. It's a wash. Is it a wash? Yes, I think that's what I'm trying to say. Like, it doesn't even out. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, my mom brain just kicked in. Let me get some more coffee so I can finish on this episode. And if you're watching, don't you love these little mugs? The dictator when I tell you this child made me put out Halloween decorations on September 10th. Because he's obsessed. And he told me he was done with his birthday decorations and he wanted his Halloween decorations out. So that is why I'm sipping from a ghost coffee mug that you can actually find from Walmart for like $10, and they're cute AF. So again, that stuff, let me rephrase this. Yes, that stuff helped you a little bit, but not in the long run of it. Not in the long run of, again, it was creating digestive and immune system problems, right? Like, and then all of the other health and damage that it did on your internal organs. This isn't an episode to shame you, but this is the reality. And this is why I'm talking about what your body does within those 30 days. It resets, and the human body is an incredible thing that these organs can start repairing themselves when you take out such a poisonous, toxic substance. Number 5, clear mind and focus. All right. Again, I'm going to do just like a couple weeks that there is probably still going to be brain fog. And especially too, if you are a woman who is 35 and over and you're starting with the perimenopause, or If you are a mother and you have mom brain like I just did a couple minutes ago, and you feel like sometimes you have early onset of dementia. So give yourself a couple weeks for the brain fog to stop within those 2 weeks. And that brain fog does come with drinking every night. It starts to lift, all right? And without alcohol, your concentration sharpens and decision making gets easier, right? You'll notice small things, remembering names, staying on task, feeling a little less scattered. The mental clarity builds the confidence and the momentum. You might not start feeling that mental clarity that everyone talks about until probably closer to those last 30 days, towards the end of those last 30 days. It takes a minute because you're going through so much, and it's kind of a shock to the system when you quit drinking alcohol. But you will start noticing. After 90 days, you're like, holy moly, macaroni, what the fuck just happened? After a year, the clarity you have is insanity. It's good. The clarity is a good thing. And number 6, emotional and confidence boost. Okay. Finally, and maybe most importantly, there's a shift in how you feel about yourself. It's not going to be at day 1. Okay. I don't want you to listen to this and be like, well, Courtney said I was going to about to have an emotional boost, confidence boost, right? But getting through those first 30 days without alcohol shows you what's possible. Starts showing you how good it feels to feel good. Shows you that the clarity is coming back, right? And it's also going to give you a little boost of self-trust. Like, yeah, I'm getting through this. I'm being able to do this in these 30 days. I can go longer, right? And it's something that makes you proud of yourself for doing. You don't need to be loud and proud about your sobriety within these 30 days, but within yourself, you are going to be like, I am a strong bitch. I am, enter in whatever you want to say about yourself, but like, I am that person who now can say she's going to do something and then does it. And that builds self-confidence. And again, on top of this, you just start to see that life without alcohol isn't just possible, but it's better. It's completely better. I'm not telling you that it is all sunshines and rainbows and unicorns and scrunchies, because that's unrealistic. And so if you're listening to that, just keep that in mind, that sober life is better than the one that you're currently living. Even if there's days where you're like, what the fuck is the point of me doing this, right? Dropped a lot of F-bombs on this one, but I'm still trying to watch what I say because of my little 4-year-old. He's not home right now, but I told you I'm trying to make a conscious effort here. And that is all about getting a little bit better each day, even if it's just for the greater good of the dictator. So he's not at that schoolyard dropping F-bombs. Okay. So the self-trust and that confidence boost really does start coming out closer towards the end of that 30 days. Because you got to remember too how long you've been feeling bad about yourself. Honestly, I know that waking up each morning to be like, I said I wasn't going to drink that much and then drink that much. Like, I don't have any control of this, right? Like, yeah, there's one day I can drink 2, but then it always ends up back to where I feel really terrible about myself, right? And truly, 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 I am a believer that if you have that relationship with alcohol, it's never going to get better. It just will get worse. But it's got to be on you of when you figure out what day it's going to be for you to finally end that relationship with alcohol. Because there's going to be a couple more times for people where they have to burn their hand on the stove. And that is your journey to learn, right? So those first 30 days can feel like a roller coaster, but remember, every change in your body is a sign of healing. You're going through a healing process. You're going through a recovery process. Your sleep, your energy, your mood, your clarity, they're all proof that you're moving in the right direction. So give yourself grace and focus on that. If you're in those early days, continue to keep holding on, right? One day at a time, your body is restoring itself. So just be grateful for that and that you're building a new foundation of freedom for yourself. Okay. So if you want support getting through those first 30 days, again, that's exactly what I do with my clients in my coaching sessions. Together, we build daily tools, support and accountability, all based geared towards you. So the link is in the show notes to apply to work with me, and also check out my Sobriety Circle coaching community. And I love to support you. And on next week's episode, we are going to talk about the silent cost of just one glass, right? And the alcohol and how alcohol and health risks every woman should know. So if you are thinking that just one glass of wine is not bad for you, you need to listen to this one. Again, it's not coming from a place of shame. It's not coming from pointing fingers. It's just all about educating and empowering you along your journey. So thank you so much for listening today. If you haven't yet, please rate, review, and subscribe to the show, whether it's on iTunes or Spotify or YouTube. Feel free to if you rate or review the show, make sure that you send me an email. All the information will be in the show notes below, and then you can have free access to my masterclass that I currently just did. So you just have to show me the screenshot, and I will send you that access for free. Everything I mentioned on today's episode will be linked in the show notes below. Please feel free to always reach out to me on my Sober Vibes Instagram page or my Courtney Anderson Instagram page. All right, and if you're new to my YouTube channel, drop a comment below and say hello. So, because I like to connect, I'm digging this new platform. All right, everyone, keep on trucking, and thanks for listening.